If you get... Oh, you fool. Oh, no. Hooray! You weren't an idiot. What magic was this? I'm going to tell the church. They will burn you. Oh, I was certain that steam turbines didn't provide any extra power outside of 200. I apologize then if that's the case. But apparently Hobbs, if I understand it correctly, the hotter the steam, the more power, up to about 500 degrees. I was certain that 200 degrees was the limit. My bad. With 4 vents open, a turbine deletes heat most efficiently at 200 C. Stops operating when it hits 100 C and melts at 1000 C. Oh, 200 degrees C is enough to max out performance at 5 inlets, but you can block inlets and use higher temperature. I see. I see. Okay, so right, I get you. That is completely beyond my knowledge on in regards to the game. That kind of operation of it. Very fascinating, though. Right. Okay. So we want the heavy giant plate down here. I'm going to pop it in there, and I'm going to want to run this power up. Like so. Now we're going to want that exposed to vacuum so it does not conduct heat any further. We can build that up as well on that side. Oh. Well, yeah, I suppose so. We can have it double laid if we particularly want to. I don't strictly think it's necessary though, but you know what, that isn't actually too bad of a... If I want the symmetry, then I need to include a bit of a gap, but let's bring that across. There we are. And then this will come down on the outside. Once all of that's built, I'll be able to walk back and forth and finish off the room, the internals of the room before wrapping it up. Okay. I might still have a granite cladding, but the issue is the heavy watt joint plate on the side is going to be a problem with that. So I'd rather not. Right, let's get them a bit of a higher priority once again. So they can get all of that done for me as quickly as possible. I would very much like it if this would, or could, be built there. And this one could be deconstructed at this point. Then I can very, very effectively sweep everything up and out. Building that up quite nicely. How are we doing with petroleum? Not doing too well. We're actually not stockpiling any more of it. Yep. Set this up, deconstruct buildings, and just pull all of that down. As far as this, I'll leave the switch there for now because it is. Well, actually, no. I've already moved the transformers, so I don't need to worry about that. Okay. We'll set that up on a 7 priority. They'll get to it eventually. But I did notice we had a lot of the plastic, left. No, not that much anymore, I guess. But We can at least start getting that pipe up there. We've got a ways to go yet, but we will get there. Want that done a little bit faster. Now then, wart seeds. I'm going to require these moved around. Sweep. Same with you. Sweep. Let's get all of these up there ready for the pip. Oh, that's a good point, actually. I should have rebuilt that a bloody long time ago. Oh, I can only imagine the comments on the YouTube VODs by the time we get to the point where I realize, oh yeah, I took it down. They've been running this entire, all of the exosuits and the transit tube from the base off a hamster wheel. Yeah, not the smartest move. As much as I have a primal need to continue watching my brain and body conspire against me to go to sleep. Good times on everyone. I'll take care, Amelia. Thank you so much for staying up with the stream. That was really, really sweet of you. I hope you enjoy the VODs when you catch them. There we go. We got power all of a sudden, people. It's craziness. Not much power, mind you, but some. Can you please tear that down? Oh, Lord. What's the temp in here? 172. That's not bad. We're going for the 190, though. If we can get up there and actually start that going properly, it's going to be grand. There we go. Mind you, again, once more, I kind of feel like I should only be dropping this if I need to. I'm happy to allow these to build up temperature in the petroleum. I mean, I guess it gets dumped out one way or the other, really, but... I believe the reason why I didn't like it before was it was hard to get the liquid to boil down here if we didn't, but this saves a bit more power, which I'm more in favor of. At least right now. How much oil have we got? 99 kilos, that's not too bad, I suppose. But... oh, actually, they've already got that set up. Hold on. They've done a relatively good job of getting this set up, to be fair. Right. Time, then, for us to continue with the cladding on this side. All the way down. As for the liquid lock, probably going to set that up somewhere around here. Is my guess. We'll have... I only need it to build up to a single tile, really. I could have it 2 tiles deep. I do like the idea of having the visuals of the liquid lock being larger, though. I quite like the visuals of it being chonky like that one. Maybe we'll go a little bit smaller, though. Again, this is purely visual. I just like the look of it like this. In fact, well, I do need this to be a room, though, for it to have a desired effect. There we go. Making it a bit deeper does give me the opportunity to have the oil a bit deeper down. We're using an aquatune. I could have the aquatune that cool the oil in the liquid lock to make sure it never splash. But then again, the oil will never get that hot. Ah, but wait. I need to ensure that well, how hot does regolith get? Those of you in chat who happen to be quite knowledgeable about Oni, how hot does regolith get from space? Does it ever get more than 380 degrees? Because if not, then I can have the heavy watt joint plate go through the into the liquid lock, and it won't matter that we're bleeding a bit of heat into that. Oh well, yeah, it will, because it will be connected to this room, and yeah, no, it will annoy. Never mind, that would be a problem. One way or t'other, that would be an issue for me. Honestly, I'm kind of doubting the liquid lock design on this side. Simply because it's going to add so much more faff to it, really. I was just going to bring in the regolith down there. I guess I still can, but... Well, I suppose since I'm loading the regolith in here anyway, it doesn't really actually make that much of a difference. It would just have more time to bleed heat into the environment. Wait, this game doesn't represent real life? Thankfully, no. This game breaks all sorts of rules. Very important rules. Well, I'll finish the room first, and then I'll set that up. But we will set this up to sweep and all. I'll pop it on a 2 or 3 priority. 3 priority, I think. Well, actually, no, 2 will do. This room is relatively well set up at this point. The liquid lock can exist over here. We'll have the door there. I think this room will still count. In fact, I'm absolutely certain it'll still be okay. Manual airlock. We will make it out of iron, because I'm making everything else in here out of iron, so might as well. We'll cancel these 2 little bits so I can get across. And let's just make that a nice big chunky 8 to get that all done. There we go. And then soon we will sweep this entire area up. We'll bring along a pip, pop in a door. Bring along... In fact, we'll pop the door in now. Bring along a pip. I'm fairly certain pips can survive in without an atmosphere. That should be okay. This game made me think more about physics and chemistry and how they work and why than 18 years of schooling. You get. Wait, this game doesn't represent real life? Sucks, I want to travel through plastic suit. No, that part definitely represents real life. There's many places that you can go to travel via plastic tube. You'll have to pay for it, but there's lots of them that will happily take your money in order to hurl you at quite possibly dangerous speeds all over the place. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What are we sweeping? What are we sweeping? Where are we doing it? Where are those sweep commands coming from? Oh dear. Why are you... How long has that been the case that you've been sweeping from stuff from there? Please stop. You are still doing it. You are still... Where are you sweeping it all from? Oh. Right. Yes. Cancel is fine. We've got enough oil. We don't need you to take care of that for now. Many sorries, that was my fault. Also, probably a bunch of stuff from inside the base, actually. No, we're good. I think. Fairly certain we're good. Right. Soon as these two little bits are done, we're also going to deconstruct these parts. We're going to sweep all of this out. We should, on an 8 no less. There we go. I'm afraid our little hatch friend might have to go the way of the dodo, but we'll try and wrangle it in the meanwhile. The main thing is we want this place to be set for pips. We've got 4 wart seeds in there at the moment. We will have more. Also, that's going to annoy the dickens out of me, so I may as well pop in some drywall. I mean, it's quite a lot of granite to do this. I could use mafic rock thinking about it. There's a ridiculous amount of that around. No, we'll bring granite up instead. That part we won't need to worry about, but... And then we'll pop in a temp shift plate or something. Just to make it look intentional. Wow, that is a lot of tungsten. I think so, no. Do we have anything we can make this out of? Yeah, I can make it out of granite. It'll look intentional. Even though it is 128% not. There we go. Ah, it's sideways factorial. I mean, kind of is actually, you know, in a certain way, yeah. Yeah, the first iteration of steam turbines in the game were a very different beast entirely. Working much more with pressure than with the gamified logic that these ones do. Okay. Let's have a look at skills. No, you still don't have any new skills, unfortunately. I think the next skill group will be plumbing and improved strength. And then eventually it's going to be tidying. Sorry, yeah, building. Tidying and plumbing and then building. I can talk. May just have to take that hatch out because I'm not sure if that hatch is going to be accepted down here. Yeah, 25, 20. Yeah, unfortunate. That is the way of things. Let's just kill it. Pop. Then we will also sweep it. Right, now I need to go and find a pip, though. Make sure that's a nice high priority. Let's go find us a pip. Fairly soon there was one down here. Let's grab you as quickly as we can. 2 of you will be good. Let's get both of you up top. Where I can have you take care of all of the weasels for me. Macro show. Okay, we're starting to produce the barbecue at a reasonable rate now. That feels a lot better than it used to. Still not stockpiling any petroleum though, which is a bit of a worry. But we are at the very least continuing to add more natural gas to the stockpile. How long do we have on this? 40 cycles. 40 cycles to get this up and running, basically. We should be able to do it. There you go. Enjoy. Plant wherever you want. As long as where you want is in that sandstone right there. Now the hope is that they will plant that. If not, then this is kind of be annoying, but oh well. We'll give them a bit of time. I love Oni. It's so fun to see the people play it completely their own way. Oh, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Right. How much do we need down here? Well, I guess it's going to take a little bit of time, but for the most part, we seem to be getting things done. Just run that along there just so that I can get all of the... that's the problem, is I made this room too large and I dug it down a bit too aggressively. Definitely need to get that sorted out. Why will you not place this down there? Gecko Cube, thank you very much for the Prime sub there. That's very kind of you. Oh yes, absolutely. Pips are super cute. I wonder if they won't plant it there. I'm a little bit concerned about that. You seem to be okay with this. Does anyone know if Pips will not plant these for some reason in this area? Growth requirement, a supply of gas. I mean, they will plant them wherever that I've seen. Like, they won't not plant a plant because it wouldn't survive in that environment. I've seen them plant things in gases that they couldn't survive in. But it might be that they do require a gas of some sort. That will be frustrating. If that's the case. How much refined metal do we have? 15 tons of refined copper. I think we're good. I've got a decent amount of steam in here. It's starting to gather an okay temperature. We could cool that area even further. What we really need though is lime is what we're hurting for now. Do we have enough gold? Not really. I'll make some gold. I'll make an awful lot of copper. Let's get that going. Ah, good, they've actually finished all their work down here. Perfect. So I'm going to take care of this. We can now safely deconstruct pretty much everything here. Except for that one pipe cluster. I need to leave that safely where it is. So stop deconstructing that one. In fact, build that out so that I've got a proper platform. Or otherwise we want to start really just pulling this area down. Now, with that done, I want... Once again. I think that's why I make them out of steel. It's because I can't make them out of, like, refined copper. Ooh. And this can overheat, so the best I could do is 125 degrees. Well, given that, then, I will be using this, but it's quite frustrating that it took me that much time to work it out. Okay, but this will be the cooling system in here. I will want to accept... does it have an overheat? It does have an overheat. Poop. Now, this one does need to be able to handle the temperature because it may have to interact with very hot liquids. But I will accept items in here if it is below a certain temperature. That will be dictated by this. This one can't overheat, so it can be whatever. Ah, poop. I'm gonna have to move this in a little bit. Let me work out the proper shape of this then. Now I'm going to want new liquids to have priority. Should be insulated. And then, before this liquid gets passed around into the system, so we are going to need an insulated pipe to bring it back out. And again, new liquid should have a priority on entering the system rather than just cycling this, otherwise it'll never fill. Before it gets back in there, I want to check its temperature again. And only if its temperature is low enough to still satisfy the requirements. Because the way you've got to think about this is the priority it'll give to the input outputs. Magnet, hey Aavak, just popped in to refresh the Prime and ask when the next batch of Onivods are due up on the YouTube. I've run out again. In 1 hour and 3 minutes. The next 5 will go live. But as I was saying, also, by the way, I'm very glad that you're enjoying watching the VODs. It's based on the way that it prioritizes movement. Right now, if the condition that allows things to go through here is active, it'll enter this port before moving on. If this port is blocked, it'll move on. I want that to be the case. The alternative way of thinking about it is that it can leave only when the port. Sorry, when the condition is right, because you can work that condition either way. But the issue here is that if I want to let it out, the liquid out, if it meets a certain criteria, but for some reason it can't get out fast enough, then that liquid will instead bypass and can stay in the system. I don't want that. If the liquid has already reached a high enough temperature that I want to cycle it out of the coolant and to go off and get cooled elsewhere, I don't want the fail condition for it trying to get out to be continue going through. I want to check whether it's allowed to stay in the system, and if it is not, it should leave. And that includes if for some reason the system just got a little backed up for a moment. A temporary hitch or something like that cause some sort of pressure to... Generally speaking, in the system, that shouldn't be the case, but I want to build with that kind of redundancy in place rather than risk it allow something to stay in the system after it should have left. So we'll set that up like this, and at that point, the liquid can continue through. Or head back out. And that's the point that it enters the system, I would say. That would be how I would set it up. Let me just check if that is the case on these. Can I control the up, down? Yes, I can say whether it's above or below. So that's perfect. Hello, Shenron. How are you doing, mate? I hope you're doing well. Right, there we go. So we'll get all of that set up, and then this can take over from the current setup. I'll siphon all of the coolant into that. This will temporarily be shut down. But if we've got enough, and we have got enough, which is glorious, then ooh. Now here's a little bit of a problem for me. Damn. Effectively, the first one in the queue, I wanted to check if the liquid doesn't need to be cooled, and then it should just bypass everything else, because it doesn't need to check a second time. But that would require that this gets shunted across a little bit more. Yeah, I'm going to have to redesign this, but I'll wait for that to happen until after I've moved this out, because then I'm going to bleed the coolant system dry anyway. So that'll be the perfect time to just move that one back by one. And then further ones in the chain will be moved back by one, so on and so forth. Hopefully this will allow this whole system to be able to manage quite a large amount of cooling. Good days and bad days. How are you doing? I'm doing well, Shenron. Hope you're doing better and had a good break. I did. Thank you very much for asking. Can you ask which mods I use? As far as I'm aware, I'm not using any mods. If I am, then they are just purely... Is there a way to check? Unfortunately not. I think I'm... actually, yeah, there is at least one mod I'm using. And that shows me a little highlight around buildings to show me where they're going to be active. So, as you can see there, that wouldn't be in normally. I may also have a temperature readout mod. I don't recall. Okay, so you little scallywags. Is the drywall getting in the way of you planting that plant? Can pips plant seeds in a vacuum? I wonder. Because there was the whole design is kind of built around you planting those bloody seeds, you scoundrels. So annoying. Okay, they've already got that built. Wow. That was actually pretty good work. Well done. Now, for the time being, I'm going to create a bypass for this. That will be pulled out later. The idea would be for this area, we want it below 100 degrees. So send a green signal only if this is below 100 degrees. Simple as that. If it's still below 100 degrees, it's allowed to continue. In fact, let's make it a little bit better. 95 degrees. If the coolant is still below 95 degrees, it can continue cycling through. This one, the coolant shouldn't be brought in unless it's below... Let's give this coolant quite a long life in there. Well, 75 degrees. It can be brought in and allowed to cycle through, absorbing 20 degrees worth of heat. Or I could... Again, it's the amount the amount of time you want it to be in there from the moment fresh coolant gets brought in to the moment it needs to be evacuated. So we'll set that up in there. And then this will work as a coolant loop for us. So at this stage, I would very much like to bleed the entire system dry. And the way I can do that is I can have it enter the system and then just get stuck in there. It's very easy. You just go in here and you flick the signal around. I mean, right now, it can't send a green signal, so this can never be true. Nor is it powered, so it will just cycle around the system. So, I do need to disable any further deliveries of petroleum, though. That is going to be a necessity.